88. That's 88 deep questions to spur discussion. So, if you're standing in line at the grocery store, or you happen to pass a stranger, or you're at dinner and you don't want to talk about the weather or the comings and goings of whoever you know, just bring one of these questions on anybody. It's sure to prompt debate, most likely. They aren't easy questions. There are no right or wrong answers to them. They're designed to get you to think, to analyze, and to communicate. Because the only way to discover and to discern what it is you think and feel and stand for is to process it, to communicate it, to flesh it out. And that is what we will be doing today. 88 very deep discussion questions. Not for the faint of heart. Some may be a little provocative in certain ways. The first one. Yeah. Well, the first one is, do you think that we're all created equal? Or are we equal in some ways, but unequal in others? I'll give you a second to formulate. No rush. Whenever you are ready. I am here with a pencil and the trusty that wood board that loves to receive all of your answers. Is everyone equal? Or are we equal in some ways, but unequal in others? I see. Thank you. Do you think men and women have equal opportunities in life? Thank you for your honesty. Are people born talented? Or is talent something that's learned over time? Do human beings gravitate more toward good or evil? Do good and evil really exist? If so, where do they come from? And do they ever change? And if not, what does that mean when morals are imposed on others? Should we start with, do good and evil really exist? And if so, where do they come from? And if not, what does it mean when morals are imposed on others? Take your time. Do people really have souls? And what about animals? Do they have souls too? What part of you is a soul, and what part of you is something else? And what about animals? So what part of you is a soul, and what part of you is something else? Does any part of us exist forever? Can we ever be certain that what we are experiencing is really happening? Is free will real, or just a societal construct? If it is real, how do we ultimately make decisions? And if it's not real, how can anyone be held accountable? for their actions. Is free will real, or just a societal construct? Let's start there. So if it is real, how do we ultimately make decisions? And if it's not real, how can we be held accountable for our actions? What's the difference between killing and murder? Is there one? Can obsession ever be a good thing? Or is it always destructive? What does faith mean to you? Is there a place for faith in modern society? And how would you define it? What does faith mean to you? Is there a place for faith in modern society? Do you think religion is compatible with science? If religion did not exist at all, what would the world look like? Are tribes, groups, and cliques a good way for people to find commonality? Or does it foster an us first them mindset? Is it right for social media to censor certain opinions? And what should happen if those censored opinions turn out to be right in the future? And if the opinions turn out to be right? How has the internet changed the world for the better? How has the internet changed the world for the worst? How has it changed you? Do you think social media platforms should have the ability to track our location and share our data? Is surveillance bad if you are someone with nothing to hide? Does the instant connection brought about by technology actually bring us closer together? Is cryptocurrency the future, or is it just a trend? Is there a danger to society progressing too fast? Do you think death will be painful? What do you think will be going through your head just before your final breath? Do you think suicide is acceptable under certain circumstances? If euthanasia were made legal, how would that change society? Do you have a positive outlook about where society is headed, or do you feel negative about it? How are we helping or hurting the human race as a whole right now? Should we start with helping? Or move to hurting? Your choice. What do you think the role of humans is on this planet? What are your thoughts on renewable energy? Do you think we'll be able to bring extinct animals back at some point in the future? What are your opinions on war? Do you think weapons of mass destruction protect humans or cause more damage to them? If there is a third world war, where will the main threat come from? And where will the lines be drawn? when war and famine come, the arts and entertainment are always the first to go. Do you think art has a place even when people are starving? Is a little insanity the price to pay for being a creative person? Do you think there's a disparity between the way we look at alcohol and caffeine versus the way we view other drugs like marijuana? As human beings, do you think we need more rules on what to do and what not to do? Should vaccines against diseases be mandatory? When are civil liberties more important than safety? What do you think is the root cause of homelessness? How would you solve the homeless problem in your country? Great ideas. What is accepted in the greater society right now that will be considered wrong in the future? matters a lot. What is your greatest fear, and where did it come from? Do you know if this fear is something you can work through? Has your personality been constructed slowly over your life, or was it something you were born with? Do you think your brain is on autopilot sometimes? If you could take memories out of your brain, which ones would you choose to remove? Are there any key changes you think you need to make in order to be the person that you want to be? Are you someone who generally puts a lot of effort into living your life? Or do you typically take the easy way out? Why? What's a core belief you have that you make decisions from? Do you ever worry that this core belief is wrong? Are actions or words more important when it comes to judging a person's character? Do opposites attract, or is that a myth? Do you ever see opposites attract in your family or your friends' relationships? Who annoys you the most? And why do you think that is? What gets you the most passionate about life? And why is that? Do you believe in miracles? How do you define miracles? What do you miss most from your childhood? What has been the most challenging goodbye you've had? I'm so sorry. Do you think all humans want freedom from typical day-to-day life? Are possessions good or bad? Where's the line between having too little or too much? Do you think the concept of the Matrix could be genuine? Will there ever be a time where we have peace on Earth? How do you react in an uncomfortable situation? What is the darkest thought you've had and never told anyone about? When was the last time you got jealous of something or somebody? Do you think flirting with someone is still cheating? What are your thoughts on staying friends with an ex? Do you think loyalty is essential in a relationship? What does sex mean to you? Do you think intimacy is the key to a happy relationship? What's a significant turnoff for you in any relationship? When do you think is the right time to have a baby? Would you want the ability to pick the gender and appearance of your baby. How important is family to you? Do you think that you have the same traits as your mother or father? Do you feel like it's easier to express love or hate? Which one takes up more of your energy? Do you think it's humanly possible to be a perfect person? What age are you most looking forward to next, and why? Does getting old scare you? And if so, what scares you about it? Do you think what a person wears accurately represents their personality? Why do we dream? What do you think of the theory that life is just a dream? We have just gone deeper than any man has ever gone before with these answers. Hello, my smitten kittens, and welcome back to a most wonderful episode of questionnaire corner, because today of all days, we are figuring out your favorite things. 77 lucky numbers. 77 of your favorite things. And I'm using my favorite pen to write your answers on both of our favorite board. Gosh, it's just so good. And I'd just like to take this moment to point out that when the dog bites, and when the bee stings, and when you're feeling sad, you simply have to remember your favorite things, and then you won't feel so bad. So happy to have you here. 77 of your favorite things. We start now. What? Sorry about that. What is your favorite word? And what is your favorite time of day? What a lovely time of day. How about your favorite day of the week? Favorite month? Favorite season? Favorite location? There are a lot of locations, aren't there? Favorite city? Favorite person? How about your favorite quality in other people? Favorite way to find a date? I never considered doing that. That's smart. And it sounds like it's been effective. Your favorite person in the family? How about your favorite stuffed animal? Cute. Your favorite birthday? There's a lot. And your favorite number? Favorite color? Favorite texture? Texture. Ooh. Favorite teacher? Favorite book? There's so many to choose from. I know. I'll have to read that one. Favorite book cover? I know, there are so many artistic book covers out now. That one had a great cover. I loved it. What's your favorite place to read? And your favorite book genre? Ooh. What about your favorite fairy tale? Classic. Favorite fact? How about your favorite meme? And your favorite emoji? I like that one too. Favorite website? Favorite artist? I love their work too. What about your favorite board game? It's a toss-up. And your favorite video game? Favorite director? Favorite actor? Heartthrob. Favorite actress? I would love to see those two in a new movie together. Great taste. What about your favorite TV show? And your favorite movie? Favorite song? Favorite singer? How about your favorite band? Favorite instrument? Favorite concert? What's your favorite restaurant? Favorite drink? Favorite pizza topping? What about your favorite condiment? And your favorite salad dressing? Favorite food? What about your favorite snack? Favorite fruit? Delicious. And what about your favorite vegetable? A little harder. And your favorite animal? What about your favorite bird? And your favorite insect? Favorite marine life creature? Favorite tree? Favorite flower? Pretty. And your favorite mushroom? And your favorite plant? And what's your favorite scent? Mm. Lovely. Your favorite body part? And what's your favorite eye color? Favorite finger? I like that one too. Your favorite pair of shoes? What's your favorite haircut on you? And your favorite hair color? How about your favorite article of clothing? Your favorite fashion trend? What's your favorite room in the house? What an excellent room. Favorite car? Favorite airline? How about your favorite stone? And what's your favorite planet? What about your favorite galaxy? Favorite area of scientific study? What's your favorite genetic mutation? And your favorite psychic ability? Your favorite memory? and your favorite dream. And your favorite feeling. That is an exceptional feeling. We've reached the end of your favorite things. How nice are these scratch sounds on paper, on wood? It's up there with my favorite sounds. Can I ask you a hypothetical question? What would you say if I said that I had 99 hypothetical questions right here, and that I would write down all of your answers in pencil? Also, I should mention that there is a button right there. It does something when you press it. You should find out. And tell me, what does yours do? Oh. If you could stop time just once in your life for an hour, when would you use it? If someone broke into your house, which item would you use to fend them off with? I didn't know you could keep that under your bed. Giving me ideas. Every day, 12 new items arrive to your house, and they all start with the same letter. Which letter would you choose? If your house had a theme song, what would it be? If you had to lose a room in your house, which room would you lose? Your options are living room, bathroom, bedroom, kitchen. If you owned a house in every country of the world, how do you think that would affect your life? Which national monument would you like installed in your back garden? It's a nice one. The horizon is the line between the land or sea and the sky, and it's horizontal, hence horizon. If everything became vertical, what would the horizon be called? If you were a lobster, do you think you would be baited into a lobster trap? Why or why not? If you had to guess, how many grains of sand do you think there are on an average beach? Would you know what to do if you were on vacation and lost your passport? If you were queen or king of the world and could make anyone rule, what would it be? Would the world be a better place if all leaders were women? In what ways would your life be different if you had another brother or sister? If you could make a piece of clothing that had any kind of special power, what power would you give it? And how would it affect you personally? If you could have a fictional character that followed you around and gave you advice, but was invisible to others, which fictional character would you choose? If you had to get a tattoo written across your forehead, what would it be? And what would you choose for me? Matching? Not matching. Let's start with you. What would you get tattooed across your forehead? And for me, I'm not going to go with you to any tattoo parlors soon. How would you handle a situation at work where you were asked to execute a task that went against your morals? If humanity was put on trial to defend its existence, what would be the best argument in favor of humanity? Save us. We made plastic. We need plastic. Just kidding. I have your answer. I'm writing it down. We love plastic. If humanity ends the near future, what animal would take our place as the preeminent species on Earth? Do you think there are still animals that we haven't discovered yet? And if so, how many? And how many? That's very specific. What do you think would happen if it never rained? What do you think would happen if all the trees died out? If someone left you a cottage somewhere in the countryside, in their will, where would you want the cottage to be located? That sounds beautiful. I'm visiting. You get one text, no more than 160 characters, delivered to everyone's phone. What does it say? How many computers do you think there are in the world? If you could try a job for just one day, and you knew exactly what you were doing, which job would you choose? Would you take a job for $44,000 a week if it meant that you had to sit in a pitch black room and do nothing for 20 hours a day? What would it be like to live somewhere that's dark for 24 hours a day? If you could add one thing to the sky, what would it be? If you became a secret graffiti artist, what new name would you give yourself? If you started to sing everything you say, would your life suddenly become a musical? If emotional love comes from the heart, and a decision to love comes from the brain, What kind of love comes from the foot? If you could make all the decisions for one person for 1 week, who would you pick? And what would you have them do? What would you teach if you had no choice but to teach? What food would be the worst to be allergic to? If you eat a chicken breast, are you actually being breastfed? Do you think the world would be a better place without caffeine or alcohol? If you were tasked with redesigning the country's flag, how would you change it? At some point, you will reach the middle of your earthly life, and you won't know. How does that make you feel? If you could hear one sentence from the afterlife, what do you think you'd hear? If two eyes create an oval field of vision, what would eyes all over the head create? I love your answers. If you could get all your organs and body parts replaced, at what point would you stop being yourself? If you were teleported to the other side of the galaxy, would that person be you, or just a copy of you? If it was found that humans originated on another planet, would that make us aliens or not? If you were the most powerful creator in existence, could you create creator more powerful than you? Fair enough. Who would you most like to get bone therapy, where the sufferer believes that they're a cow? What car would you turn into if you were a transformer? Sexy. Do you think you'd be able to pull a sock out of your mouth without using your hands or feet? You're walking through the woods when you come across a black suitcase. It contains $1 million and a blood-stained sheet of paper. Written on the blood-stained sheet of paper is the word "don't." Will you take the suitcase home, or will you leave it there? What would you do if you were home alone late at night and you heard footsteps? Would you panic or stay calm? If a tree falls in the woods and there's no one to hear it, does it still make a sound? If you were given the opportunity to go deeper in the ocean than anyone has ever gone before, would you take it? Would you go? If you had to get a tail, which tail would you get? And what would you use it for? What kind of dinosaurs would you clone if dinosaurs could be brought back to life? You are driving alone in your car on a wild, stormy night, and it is raining heavily. You pass the 3 people waiting for the bus at a bus stop. What do you do? If humans lost the ability to see all colors but one, which color would you choose to survive? Would you increase your life satisfaction if it meant that your overall lifespan would be shorter? If you found out you were a clone, what would you do? Whatever you do for the next week will be erased from time and from the memory of everyone in existence. What do you do? What would you do if you learned you were living in a Truman Show type world where everything was fake and done for TV? If robots became sentient and seemed as real and alive as human beings, would you campaign for their equal rights? If, for every manufactured good photo on social media, you had to post a bad photo, how do you think that would change the landscape of social media? If no one was ever canceled for what they said or did on social media, how would that change the online culture of communication? If you started an activist group, what would its goals be, and what would you call it? What would you call it? If you had to prove you were human and not AI in a 5-minute text conversation, how would you do it? Crafty. If you could be an NPC in any video game, what would it be? What would the sign on your door say if you were a consultant? If you had to put all your money into one single asset, what would you choose? What would be the cutest, non-conventional military unit that would still serve as an effective fighting unit? Cute, but still able to fight effectively. If you could design a perfect planet, what would yours look like? Beautiful. I love it. How would our view of space change if the moon were actually made of cheese? Do you believe that if all land were connected, the world would be a better place? What would you tell someone if their underwear was showing? If you were required by law to get a full body tattoo, what full body tattoo would you get? Your entire body tattooed, yes. If happiness has a flavor, what does it taste like? What would the world be like if babies were born knowing everything we already know as adults? If you had to go live on national TV for 1 hour, what would you do or talk about? company or corporation disappear as if it never existed, which company or corporation would you choose? You pick up a book and start reading, only to discover it's a book of your life. Do you continue reading, knowing full well that you will be unable to change the events that transpire? Or do you put the book down? According to a fortune teller who has never been wrong, there's a big event that is about to transpire that will change your life. Do you know what the event is? If you had to be a monster for one night a month, which monster would you be? If adult humans were in the cocoon phase that butterflies have, then what would mature humans look like? If you built a secret bunker in your backyard, what would you keep in it? If you could go back in time and hands down win an argument that you had with someone, which argument would you choose? What does it mean to live a good life? Is there one definition, or does it vary by situation? If you knew when and how someone would die just by shaking their hands, but you couldn't do anything about it, how would you use this power? That's nice of you. What do you think your life would be like if you had a 300-year life expectancy? What would you say if someone took your VR headset off after you died and asked you how your virtual life went? What would you choose to smell if you could only smell one aroma other than your own scent, and this aroma everyone else also had to smell? If you discovered a new star, what would you name it? Lovely. If your brain was a room, what would it look like inside? If human beings were born with one item, which item would be yours? Cool. If you could choose your soulmate before you were born, who would you choose? I did not expect you to say Voldemort. Cute. If planet Earth was in a science fair, competing with other planets around the universe, what would be the best thing for planet Earth to showcase in order to win? Plastic. Just kidding. Nice. One day, someone will think of you for the last time, and then you'll be forgotten. Who do you think